My screen is visible. Hello?
Yeah, what was that?
My screen is visible to you, people?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss about the open enrollment and event maintenance processes.
Okay, I can barely hear you.
Okay. Okay. So let me connect to the mic.
And Ganesh, can you mute your...
Sure, sure.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a little bit better.
Okay. Okay. So last time we discussed about the open enrollment and event maintenance processes. Do you remember?
Yeah, we were supposed to go more detail into open enrollment.
Suppose. Yeah. So there is some there are some different processes. Open enrollment is different and event maintenance is different. So before starting that, can you tell me the navigation for benefit plans? You remember how?
I can go to it. Yeah, benefits, set up HRMS, product related,
Yeah.
base benefits. And then plans and providers and the benefit plans.
Yeah.
I think Sherry just joined too, so.
Okay. So suppose the plan type is medical, so associated medical related sub-plans will come as the benefit plans here. This is the provider or vendor table, benefit provider table. So who is vendor?
I'm sorry?
Who is vendor?
Vendor is somebody that provides the benefits.
Yeah, so here vendor details are maintained. Then you remember where we define benefit programs?
Benefit programs are defined. You mean by the HR or by the employee on the employee level?
By the HR, benefit program table. Table setup can be done by the company, can be done by the HR, but assignment of benefit at the employee level is always done by the benefit HR.
HR, yeah.
Yeah. So the navigation is setup HRMS, product related, base benefits, program structure, benefit program table. So here you define the eligibility of the dependent age limit, which type of benefit program it is. Suppose your company is only using base benefits, then program type would be what would be program type if your company is using base benefits?
Program type will be manual.
Manual. And if your if the benefit admin is selected on the installation table, then what would be the program type?
It will be automated.
It would be automated. So here you associate your plan type and various benefit plans and the coverage and deduction codes. So you remember what is in the open enrollment process? What happens in the open enrollment process?
That's where pretty much you select the appropriate benefit program during your annual enrollment.
Yeah. So once in a year, this process is run. Once or twice in a year, this process is run to enroll employees into the benefits. Like automatically, the benefits are assigned to the employees by the Peoplesoft system if you run this process. So here the description is given. The system uses the OE open enrollment event rule to process employees through open enrollment and give them their re-enrollment opportunities. The coordination of open enrollment by open enrollment IDs enable the Peoplesoft Ben admin system to classify open enrollment as an event. You will associate the open enrollment IDs that you define with an open enrollment processing schedule. All employees associated with that processing schedule will be processed according to the associated OE event rule, resulting in the opportunity to re-enroll or change their benefit elections. So whenever you run this process, according to the eligibility of the employees, benefits are assigned to them by the Peoplesoft system. But after that also you can't rely completely on that, so manual intervention may be required. So it can be done manually also at the employee level. Changes can be done by the benefits HR. In event maintenance, employees undergo event rule processing only for unprocessed events that are associated with them. Employees who have no unprocessed events are not affected by event maintenance. So event maintenance, you remember?
Yeah, that's the process you use to evaluate, I guess, employees that may have a change during the year, such as if they got married or they were terminated.
Yeah. So whenever there is any change in their job data, like their marital status or if they got hired or terminated. So after these changes, you run this process to assign benefits to them, so that there may be some changes in their benefits accordingly. So open enrollment definition. Setup HRMS, product related, automated benefits, processing controls, open enrollment definition. Here you define open enrollment definitions. So for every open enrollment process, there would be one definition ID to identify particular open enrollment process. Period, begin date, when the process will start. Suppose it starts this process, your company is running once in a year only. Mostly it is run annually, once in a year. So begin date can be 1st Jan to 31st December of the year. End date would be 31st December. Then give description whether you are running this open enrollment process for America or whether you are running for Canadian employees. In the same way, you can give enrollment begin and end date also. Then assign the benefit program. I told you what happens after this open enrollment process.
You have to assign a benefit program to it.
Yeah, so automatically benefits are assigned to the employees. So automatically benefit programs are assigned to the employees. So which benefit program needs to be assigned? So you need to select the benefit program from here, multiple benefit programs available.
What is that self-service enrollment thing for?
These are self-service configuration that appears in the enrollment form. These are optional,
Okay.
not required. So period begin date equals the first day that coverage becomes effective for this open enrollment or open enrollment process. Then period end date defines the end of the plan year for information purposes only. Benefit program, select benefit program that will participate in this enrollment event. So when you run this process, what are the benefit programs that are going to participate? Processing schedules. So these are the only options that you need to select in open enrollment definition. Now processing schedules. All benefit administration processes are grouped and identified by schedules. Whatever are the admin processes, they are identified by schedules. This includes the run control process, enrollment statement, data entry and confirmation statements. So you need to define at least one schedule for open enrollment and another for event maintenance. So if we are having two processes, open enrollment, another is event maintenance. So for both you need to define the schedule ID. So navigation is setup HRMS, product related, automated benefits, processing controls, schedule table. So these are the various schedules defined for different processes. Like for suppose there are 5 open enrollment processes that you are going to use in a year. So you have defined 5 schedule ID for the same. In the same way, 5 event maintenance process you are going to use. So you need to define 5 event maintenance IDs for the same. So these scheduling parameters and these when admin process parameters, you need to only run the parameters provided by your client. Not all the parameters are required. So just for your information only, I am telling you about these processes, what they actually do and what is the actual run control page. Now details regarding the parameters used, it will be provided by your client. Usually HR need not run these processes, it is done by some administration team. So here you define the schedule ID, description of the schedule, whether it is for American employees or it is for Canadian employees. Okay, then admin type, whether it is an open enrollment process or even maintenance process. Then company base group ID. For every country's employees, you can define a group, base group. Like for Canada, one particular benefit administration group. For America, one particular benefit administration group. Then in the same way, open enrollment definition ID. So open enrollment definition ID that you defined in the open enrollment definition page. Same ID you need to enter here, and then you need to enter the status flag, whether the process is already scheduled or not scheduled yet. Okay. So automatically it will appear. So here the description is given. Then admin type. Select from the following, whether it is open enrollment process or even maintenance process. In this schedule, you can define the schedule ID for open enrollment also, and you can define the schedule ID for even maintenance also. So accordingly, you need to select the then admin type. Company enter the name of the company for which you want to run this process. If this field is left blank, all companies will qualify. BAS Group ID. Benefits Administration Schedule Group Identification. Enter the BAS Group ID. If this field is left blank, all benefits group will qualify. So suppose you want to use this process for all the benefit groups, not for employees of a particular country. So leave this field as blank. No new events. Select if you don't want any new events assigned to the schedule. Existing events assigned to the schedule will continue to be processed. Open Enrollment Definition ID. Enter the Open Enrollment Definition ID if it is to be an Open Enrollment processing schedule. Open Enrollment Status Flag displays the current processing status of Open Enrollment process represented by the Open Enrollment Definition ID. If this process is already scheduled, the system will display the current processing status of the Open Enrollment process. So only these are the parameters that you need to define here. And whether all parameters are going to use or not, it will depend on your client. So it is done once in a year only, not on a regular basis for open enrollment. Then benefit administration run control process. So from where you can run open enrollment and event maintenance processes. So I told you that open enrollment is done only annually, while event maintenance can be done anytime whenever there is a event change. There are changes in job data. Okay, so it can be done on day-to-day basis also.
So is that like a scheduled job that you have to run to make it run for the
Yeah. So there is one common process that you need to run for open enrollment and event maintenance. So that common process is BAS process.
Okay.
Benefit administration process. So this is a run control process. After running this process, automatically benefits will be assigned to the employees. So all the parameters required will be given by your client. On the basis of that, you will run this process based on their requirements. I'm just giving you overview of this process, how to run that and what is the run control page. So this is the navigation for the same. It is inside benefits, manage automated enrollment, events, run automated event processing, schedule and check report, restart. So here you every time you enter a new run control ID, you enter the processing date, then schedule ID. Select the schedule to run. When the schedule is selected, the page displays the batch type, whether it is an open enrollment, event maintenance process. Okay. So here schedule ID needs to be entered. You create different schedule ID for different processes. So suppose you created schedule ID for event maintenance process. So accordingly the batch type will automatically come. Suppose you selected the schedule ID for open enrollment, so accordingly open enrollment batch type will come. EM process mode is the event maintenance process mode. If you selected an event maintenance schedule, select the EM process mode. EM process mode, what will happen? Schedule and process events. So there are various options here for the event maintenance process. Schedule and process events, schedule new events only, process existing events only. All batch activity entries are retrieved and events are created and assigned to the appropriate schedules. If you select the option schedule and process events, then any events belonging to the current schedule are processed further during this run. Schedule new events only. All batch activity entries are retrieved and events are created and assigned to all appropriate schedules, but they are not processed further during this run. Process existing events only. Only existing events belonging to the current schedule are processed. Checkpoint interval in minutes. Indicate a number of minutes between commits. 60 is a reasonable number. If a job terminates abnormally, in that case values for the last record processed appear in the restart position. So between the number of commits indicate a number of minutes. So based on your client, whatever number they want. Record eligibility results. Used to troubleshoot benefit processing errors related to eligibility. When this option is selected, the system checks eligibility for all benefit programs and for all options within the benefit program for which the participant is eligible. So whether the participant is eligible for the program or not, it will be checked by the system if this checkbox is selected. In normal processing, the system stops checking eligibility the first time a participant fails an eligibility check. Then go to participant list. Process from participant list. Select to use the remaining feature on this page. Schedule only employees. Here there is a grid schedule only employees. Suppose you want to run the event maintenance process. Suppose in job data only 5 employees are terminated. So you want to run this process for only 5 employees. So you can select the employees here. Indicate which specific employee should have new events added on open enrollment or event maintenance schedule. Process only participants. Used to process a list of specific participants with the existing events sorted by benefit record number and event ID. So all specific participants that belong to that group, if you want to process, then select this. Then go to this passive event processing tab. Passive events are not initiated by data entry. but are the result of passing of a predefined period of time. For example, you might have an eligibility rule set up that enables employees to enroll in a benefit year after 10 years of service. Once you set up the parameter here, the system looks at every employee's job data to determine whether a passive event has occurred. If a passive event is found, an entry is made to the batch activity table. If the employee has multiple jobs, an entry is made into the batch activity table for each job that meets the eligibility criteria. So passive events means you have set up one eligibility rule, but for that eligibility, employee would be eligible maybe for after 5 years or 10 years. So when such passive event occur, then only the benefits will be assigned. So this is the example of passive event. So passive event processing, select. If there are no passive events to process, select do not process. Or if you want to process, select process. Trigger passive events only, that means for such passive events only you want to trigger this process, not for the other events. Are you getting? Okay.
Yes.
And Sherry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Trigger passive events only. Select to trigger the passive event types indicated in passive events to process group box for the specified date range. The system triggers all passive events currently in your database for that period but does not process any events. So from you can define the dates. Suppose you want to trigger only passive events, like after 5 years or 10 years the employees will be eligible. So such events if you want to trigger, so you can specify the date range here for what period you want to trigger. Process. Select after you have run passive event processing using trigger passive events only and have reviewed the triggered passive events. So the process, that means you want to process finally all the events. Then from date and to date. Indicate the time frame during which you want to have the system look for passive events. The system wants you, if you create a time frame for a particular passive event ID that overlaps a previously recorded time frame for the same event ID. So time frame should be different every time, otherwise the system will give you warning. So these are the major run control parameters that you define in this batch process. So this is the common process that you run for open enrollment also and for event maintenance also. You got it again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now are you clear with whatever is completed till now?
Yeah, I believe so. Sherry, you have any questions?
Sherry?
No, I don't have any questions. You guys hear me? No, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
Your voice is not very clear.
I don't have my microphone
What
on.
she?
The mic.
Okay. Okay, so can you type your question if you are having?
No, she said she doesn't have any questions.
Okay. So let me open. So we have completed many tables here. We'll start with this benefits later assign, how the HR manually assign the benefits like saving benefits, health benefits here. We'll start with this also later. First we discussed about the important benefit tables. In setup HRMS, we discussed about the plan table, benefit vendor table, benefit provider or vendor table. We discussed about the benefit program. We discussed about the schedules. We discussed about the important processes in this benefit. Manage automated enrollment. Okay. So this process was for only Ben admin, run automated event processing. Apart from that, there are other options to manually enroll the employees and dependent benefits that we'll discuss later. Now in job data, how these benefits are defined, how it is linked with the employee's job data, let us see. So workforce administration. Job information. It's too slow. You can also try opening in your machine if it is opening.
Okay.
Job data, now it is opened. So select any employee. Are you able to see?
Yeah.
So in benefit program participation, here you select the benefit system. So in benefit program participation of job data, you define about the benefit of the employee. Suppose this employee is using the benefits. So you need to define the benefit record number for the same, like 0, 1, 2 and so on. Can benefit system not managed in Peoplesoft, or if your company is using only base benefits, then select base benefits.
And this is at the employee level, right? I mean, this is at the HR level for the employee.
Yeah, so it is defined by the workforce administration HR. For this particular employee, whether the employee is using base benefits or Ben admin, based on your organization, what kind of benefit system they are using. Then annual benefit base rate. I told you that annual benefit base rate, you defined annually how much benefit base rate your company is defining. So at the employee level also you can change it, like $67 or $6,700 US dollars and so on. Then you can select the benefit program for this employee. Suppose this employee is of UK, so you can select UK based benefit. If it is of US, US based benefits. Then the currency code will automatically come. Then if you can select the other option also, then administration. Select some different employee. So for this employee, the Ben admin was implemented. Go to job data. This employee belongs to USA. So here there are options coming for Ben admin. Also, if you select base benefits, you can select base benefits also, you can select Ben admin also. So Ben admin is only for US and Canada. So employee the annual benefit base rates, then base group ID here. So if you are selecting Ben admin and if he is an employee of USA, for that you can select benefit admin, then you need to select the base group ID here. So at the employee level also base group IDs are defined. So in base group ID table, you only define the base group ID, one for USA, one for Canada. But under that USA base group ID, how many employees will be enrolled, you define in the job data. So select the base group ID and different eligibility rules. Yeah.
Okay, and the eligibility rules are what again?
I told you about eligibility. Eligibility rules like age should be this, employees age should be this, whether all the employee jobs would be processed or only primary jobs would be processed.
Okay, okay.
If you go,
Yeah, I remember.
you define the evaluation method. The page is like this. Remember?
Yes, yes.
So you define the eligibility criteria of the age, benefit status and other eligibility configurations.
Okay.
So all the important table setup was important. So we discussed all the important table setup in benefits now. Now we are going to discuss about, in our next classes we'll discuss about the benefit module. It is for the benefit administration HR. So employee dependent information. We'll go in detail also. I'm just telling you what we are going to discuss.
Okay.
Review HR job payroll data. So for every employee, what is the job data and what is the payroll data? It can be viewed by benefit administration HR. This is display only page. Then benefits personal data. So what is the Medicare plan available for every employee? You can enter the Medicare number and various reasons. Maintain certificates. We are going to discuss. Update dependent beneficiary. So for every person there would be there can be multiple dependents. So it is entered by the HR how many dependents would be there for that person for every employee and what are the address and contact details for that person. Date of birth and other details of the dependent beneficiary. Record dependent beneficiary comments if they are having any comments. Suppose they want a certain thing from the organization, so it can be recorded by the HR. Review dependent beneficiary summary. Assignment of final check to the beneficiary we are going to discuss. Now ABBRs we discussed about the setup of annual benefit base rates. So update ABBRs. For every employee is different record numbers. At the employee level you can update the annual benefit base rates and review the annual benefit base rates that is already assigned to the employees. We'll discuss that thing in detail. Review employee benefits. Already, if the benefits are assigned to the employee, summary of those benefits. And then from here, from here the HR assign benefits to the employees, like benefit program to the employees. So according to the benefit program, the associated benefit plans will be assigned to the employees and their eligibility will be decided. In simple benefits, how the HR assigns simple benefit to the employees. They provide when coverage begin date, when the benefit will start, end date, and different election options. Benefit program, benefit plan. Already some benefit program is assigned to the employee, then this is appearing here. For this employee ID 0052. The benefit program is GBI US full-time benefit program. Now go to assign to benefit program table here. So here this benefit program was assigned, and that's why it was appearing there automatically. Health benefits. How to assign health benefit to the employees. Life and accidental benefits. So for every benefit there would be begin date, there would be end date, in the same way deduction begin date. What do you understand by deduction begin date?
Well, that's when the deduction will start coming out from the paycheck.
Yeah. So in the same way there are various election options like elect, waive, terminate that we'll discuss. Coverage codes who will be covered. Suppose if there are any other dependents also for using this benefit, so their dependent beneficiary details can also be provided and their health provider ID. Life and accidental benefits. In the same way, in case of any accident, if there is many benefit provided by the company to the employees and there any annual rate for the same, like annually 5,000 US dollar will be provided by the company in case of any accidents. Here also you provide the coverage begin date, deduction begin date, election date, different coverage options. And if the dependent and beneficiaries are also using them, then provide the dependent or beneficiary details. Savings plan. In the same way, if there are any saving plans for the dependents or beneficiaries, then provide the saving plan details here. HR provide the saving plan details. Then disability benefits. Suppose if there are some employees that are disabled, so for that company provide a disability benefit to such employees. Apart from that, Ben admin process and manage automated enrollment we already discussed. So here you can provide a participant list for which you want to run the event in, maintenance or open enrollment process, and whether if there are any passive events. So you remember passive events. What are passive events?
Passive events?
Yeah. Today we discussed about the passive events. There may be some benefits for which employees will be eligible after 5 years or 10 years. Suppose event ID age 65. So when they will reach the age 65, then only the benefit would be assigned to the employees.
Oh.
So to trigger passive events only, that means you want to assign these events only.
Okay.
Passive events only. Select the appropriate option and run the process.
Oh, okay.
Then so I will send you the notes.
Mm-hmm.
You can go through all the notes. Any other thing that you want to discuss? From the next class, I will tell you about these assignments in details.
Okay.
How the benefits are assigned by the HR. What are event rules? Do you remember? Events and eligibility rules.
Yeah, they determine which eligible option an employee can actually choose. Event rules and COBRA. Yeah.
Employee can't choose the eligible option. It is the company that define the eligibility criteria. Based on their eligibility criteria, the employees will be eligible for the benefits. Okay, event rules are like some event occur in the employee's job data, like termination or marital status change or new hire. So in that case, it will affect their benefits. So that's why you define the event rules.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember about COBRA?
Mm-hmm.
What are COBRA events?
Those are pretty much options that's available to you once you terminate to continue insurance for a set amount of time.
Yeah. So it is Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act, that is for the employee still after the completion of their employment, like after their termination, even after their termination, their health coverage and whatever benefits the company is providing, they will continue to provide till the limited period of time.
Mm-hmm.
It may be more for disabled persons. And for that, a surcharge and additional fee is charged on the employees. That is the surcharge you define in the benefit program table. For disabled, there is a different surcharge. For other people, there are different surcharge percentage. So enrollment of benefit to the employees we'll discuss in the next class. Today, if you want to rediscuss anything, then we can do, else we'll proceed in the next class.
Okay. So, but how many more classes do we have then?
2-3 classes.
2 or 3 classes? Okay.
Yeah, on Saturday if there would be 2 hours, that means 2 hours would be completed. So after that also, if there is any syllabus will remaining, then we'll complete.
Okay.
Everything we need to complete. So it may take 2 classes also, it may take 3 classes also based on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Then Friday.
We'll share
Then,
today.
yeah.
Yeah?
Then Friday, same time. Okay.
Yeah,
Same time,
Friday,
yeah.
same time. Okay.
Fine, guys.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
Okay, bye.
Okay, King.
Good
I'll
night.
share this upload and everything.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.